Meghan Markle here.
Today is Sunday, September 28, 2025. It is 6:37 a.m. I was up since 2 o'clock. Not at my desk, but I just lay back in bed watching some TV. And each videos that I put, I start watching it and then I fall asleep. Got up again, the same thing happened again. Oh, let me wait for a few minutes. Put another video, watch the first few minutes, fall asleep, get up again. I think that happened 4 times in the middle of the night. Okay, so and I finally got up and I was like, let me just get up and record something. At least because what is it? Even last night, my husband was looking for something to watch on Netflix, right? And I went to sit and watch. I actually suggested to watch, it's a kid movie, something How You Train a Dragon or something like that. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but he was searching for something to watch. I recommend the movie. Again, first few minutes, fall asleep. When the movie's about to finish, I got up. And he was like, how was the movie? And I just got up, went and brushed my teeth. I had already taken a shower when I sat down to watch with him. Got up, brushed my teeth, and went to bed. And then like around 2 o'clock, and what I just said a few minutes ago, when I lay down and I keep putting YouTube videos and fall asleep. So that was that. So now I need to like really hurry up because now the office that I'm recording, this is something that I set up for myself. And the kids were much younger, they were sharing rooms, and my husband was like, oh, we need to turn this office back to a bedroom so the kids don't need to share rooms anymore. And I was like, no, I need the office. That was before the pandemic and all of that. I was like, no, I need the office. This is where I get to do what I need to do. And I'm away from the family. And that room is far away from the living room, the kitchen. The only thing that's close to where I'm at right now is the bathroom. Okay, we only have one bathroom. We don't live like in a luxury. The place that we left when my husband and I were dating, we first moved together. It was a huge 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and a huge living room open up to the kitchen, and I use a small portion of the living room for my office, but this one where it was too expensive. But anyway, that's not the whole story. The whole story is now the kids are getting older. Now the office is being used by all of us. We have our turn. So for me, it's in the middle of the night. I blame myself for staying in bed, for not recording, because I have a lot to share with you. When I came at the computer and I went to Twitter and I saw some stuff to share with you. So I plan on recording everything. So the kids are much older. My oldest, like in the afternoon when he comes from school, I tell my husband, try to finish his work really quick so he could have the office to do his work. Nobody disturb him. And then now my youngest, he's going to apply for high school, and there's some stuff that he needs to do. Okay, there's a presentation he needs to do. There's a couple things that he needs to do. And there's a test I want him to take. It's not required, but it sort of strengthens his possibility of getting to whatever high school he wants to get to. Not college, okay? High school. I think it's called PSAT or something like that. So I want him to take it, and it seems like he's interested. So I want to give that the office for them to split the time and do what they need to do. All right, so I need to record as fast as I can, and then in the middle of the day, or it could take me whatever, because we have another computer in the living room. That's during the pandemic we sort of set it up, where my sons, my kids, especially my youngest, will use the living room computer, and my husband turned the TV in their room into a computer, so my oldest could have used the room during the pandemic to do his school, his classes in the room, and then my husband would use where I'm at right now to do his work from home. So this is there's like 3 computers. I'll be okay, as the key thing for me here is the recording, not to get the noise, because once I leave the office and go over there, there's noise, so I won't be able to record. With that being said, let's go on Twitter. Alright, I have this on the list, but it's further down. And this video, there might be different parts, and I think I'm gonna try to squeeze everything on this channel. Depend on how I see some of the conversations, I might put on PYTE. I hope you guys are subscribed to both channel, PYTE and APTS Sussex. And I see lately my viewership is going down, so I don't know. I'm just doing it for the fun, for the sake of it, and for those, again, my focus is the squaddies who are not on Twitter and who don't plan on being on Twitter, to see some of the conversation that the squad are talking about. Okay, so that's been my focus ever since. Alright, I'm blabbering now. Let's get started. This is the first tweet. So the question is, who is leaking, William or Charles? How did Matt know that kisses and gifts were exchanged? Matt is William's mouthpiece, so obviously this came from William. The crash out over a cup of tea and some cake is truly monumental. Harry is the only one who comes out of this looking like a kind, decent, caring son who just wants to see his sick father, who wants to bring his children to meet their grandfather. William and Charles come out of this looking like the mental cases they are, especially William. Alright, so far tonight, when I got on Twitter, some of the thing that I see is going on is this. They talking about the leak. Alright, let me pause for a second, because there's another tweet that's making reference to this, so I want to make sure it's right after this one. Okay, I was able to spot it really quickly. Alright, so the sun seems to like, I saw this screenshot for a while. Okay, it's probably been 2 days. I probably have show it on past videos, but I didn't really make too much of it. But the only thing that I responded to the first time that I came across it was still no way back. Alright, that bold text, still no way back. That's what I was making reference to when I responded to it. And I was like, in one of the comments, I put the interview that Harry did with Anderson Cooper about, let me see if I could find it. Alright, so when I first came across it, this is let me see, this is it here. Let me pause it. September 27. Oh my god, it seemed like it was forever. I did that a while ago. But anyway, this is what I was making reference to when I first came across this headline, and I was like, still no way back? Well, and this is where Harry said he will not come back when Anderson Cooper asked him.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family? Prince?
Okay.
Can you...
So let's go back again to the tweet that was... Again, I did not want this to be too long, but I'm already spending too much time on it. Okay. So that was my response to this when I first came across it. Alright. But it seems like the squad are still talking about it, and there's been... It has evolved. Okay, so let's continue. The only good news coming out of this story is that it reinforces the truth about that family of his. that's Harry's family, the royal family, it's still only about PR, saving face. King Charles still will throw Harry under the bus to make himself look good in the media. Newsflash: too late, the royal family is doomed. Okay, I also will blame Charles for most things, but this, no, I don't think this was Charles at all. This was William. His dirty rotten hands all over it. Okay, I heard that. What did I say in some past video about this? And I was like, I think it's the horse that's behind it. Put nonsense in William's head and also Charles' head, and then things happen. But if it was, I don't know how many people were in the room. If it was just Harry and Charles, then again, they usually have servers that's standing around. You know, they have ears too. They listen. But let's say if it was Charles and Harry only talking, how would William know what's going on? Unless if Charles talks to Camilla and told her what was some of the discussion, and then Camilla passed it on to William, and then William blab it out. Let me read some of these and then go to the next one, because there's a lot to share with you and it's making reference to the same topic. I just read this. I heard that too, but I thought it was a private meeting between Harry and King Charles. No one else was there. We know Harry didn't say anything, so how did Willie find out? Okay, that's the thing that I'm saying. Unless Charles, after the meeting, Charles went and talked to Camilla privately, and then Camilla passed it on to William. Okay? So usually when you want something to stay secret, it's to keep it to yourself. That's it. And to use the Sun that Harry successfully sued is disgusting. It's also the paper that Christian Jones leaked information to through Martin Brenning, toxic British media. The Martin Brenning thing is the guy that says Sussex, Dan Wooten.
Sussex squad. Sussex squad.
Okay, there was an issue from Byline that outed him and things like that. Go some past videos. I don't want to go and explain this whole story. Alright, so maybe she did put this. Oh my god, this is so blurry. It has been alleged that Kensington Palace trusted staffer Christian Jone has been leaking information about Harry and Meghan to the Sun newspaper's Wooten. Okay, so there it is here. Jones is denying the allegation. Here is Wooten bragging about having confidential Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan's plans and his possession. Okay, so that was way back 2020. Alright, William is in bed with the Sun and has been for many years. Okay, with that, Charles trained William to be in bed with the papers. Okay, all this, everything you see that's happening right now is the product of Charles. Okay, product of Charles, and then bring on the horse to help him, because nobody is talking about Charles' treatment to Princess Diana at this time. Okay, everything you see that is happening between Harry and Charles, William, all those nonsense that you see is happening in the paper is the product of Charles, because he trained William at a young age. I would say late teens, maybe 18, 19 or something like that. Just look at the screen, you can make the math. I think the article that I have about that is 2021. No, not 2021. Was it 2011? Okay, just look at the screen. Okay, Charles, again, this is way after Queen Elizabeth's father passed, and then the men in gray suit start scheming on how to have possession or in control of the monarch. They can't do that to Queen Elizabeth because Queen Elizabeth's father had already trained her. So Queen Elizabeth was not about that petty. And Queen Elizabeth had King Philip, I'm saying King Philip, he should have been king, but Prince Philip by her side to also help him. But at the same time, they lower Prince Philip's ability to say certain things, so to speak. So what the men in gray do, along with whoever the scheming that went on, all these are my conclusion. It wasn't written anywhere. It's me plugging things together. All right. So to get to Charles to be in the state that weakness that Charles is in right now is they got him since he was young, toddler. They sent the queen out to do engagement outside of the country, and then the queen left Charles with nannies and men in gray suit. So they start training Charles to be weak, to make him seem like he doesn't have that kind of power as a king. The papers have more power than him. So they ease into his psyche. And then once he thought just having positive coverage is the thing. When in fact, I've been saying this from day one. Once you have the people by your side, the people, the group that they keep on diminish, mistreated, and playing them as a fool, once they are enlightened, look what's happening in the US. Okay, with Disney and Walmart, Target, and all of that. Once the people get together, they are on the same page, you can't do anything. All right, it's the people. So Charles, for the papers or whoever got into his psyche and told him that it's the paper is more powerful, okay, and he buys it, thinking that positive coverage is the only thing that will get him. I don't know. I really don't understand the logic of it, but this is the thing that I get out of it. And Charles passed it on to William, and William keeps on thinking that positive coverage is what really matters to him, but he discard the feeling of the people. All right, you see, even though the paper keeps on trashing Harry left and right, what happened? The people stand by him. Okay, globally, the people stand by him. And this is what's getting him so angry, and envy, jealousy, and all of that. He wants what Harry have. So when he goes somewhere, the people standing behind a barricade, screaming his name and all that. That's what he wants, but he can't have it. Because he ties himself up with the paper. The papers, because there's a whole bunch of them. All right, let me read some and then move on. I can't believe this. I'm on the first one. All right, William is in bed with the son and has been for many years, product of Charles. He began leaking to them about Harry and Meghan. It was working for him at the beginning, all right, but once people get the hint of it and they realize that, and you know, living in lies and this type of manipulative, it's for a few moments, but you're not gonna have it for a long time or lifetime. And Harry understand that. No way back to what? Other having a relationship with his father. There's some special something that the Harry has to come back to. What is this panic over a cup of tea between a father and his son? Harry has denied it until he's blue in the face, yet the British press still frame the narrative as if he's the one who wants to return and his father is the one saying no. Like I said with that video with Anderson Cooper. I'm saying Anderson. Yeah, Anderson Cooper. Ask him, does he wants to go back? Harry said no. After what Harry has experienced in the US with the life with his children and Meghan, there's no way he's gonna go back over there. If when he was young, growing up in the institution, they were treating him with respect and understanding, maybe there would have been a possibility, but there was none of that. All right, these two, and then that's it. All right, there's a small little thread here, little conversation. All right, so it stopped here. I'm gonna cover this conversation. You see that line here? All right, it's showing you there's a back and forth going on. All right, so this conversation stopped. It doesn't continue. All right, so this line is telling you it's continuing. All right, so I'm gonna cover this and then that'll be it. They are still pushing the narrative as well that Harry wants to come back, at least in the headlines. If you read the article, that is all denied. The thing is that is the force feeding. This is the narrative they're going by, and they want you to believe it whether or not. They want you to accept it. So there's that. Yes, I read it, and the headline is to incite harassment and vitriol toward Harry among the rabid freaks out there demanding he be banished for life. It's truly disgusting. How do they know what happened in the meeting? I'm assuming this person doesn't know how the system over there works, so she's asking a legitimate question. So these are the things I used to ask myself when I first come across some of this stuff here. How do they know what happened in the meeting? There had to be someone else there, so they must be the leak. Unless, of course, they are just making shit up as usual. The only thing, if what the paper, because there's an article, there's a tweet that I come across where the squad said Harry denied about him leaking, but the Sun newspaper came out, stand by what they say on the paper. All right. So my conclusion to this, two things probably. If while Harry and Charles were talking, there's a server there who stood there to serve them, he's human being. He has ears, or her. Okay, he was listening. Now, did he leak it out there? I don't know. That's one scenario. The second scenario is, let's say there was no server standing in the room to serve them. Everything was already prepared on the table, and they have to take it themselves. Okay? So Harry just wanted to talk with his father. All right? Let's say that was just Harry and Charles talking. No one else was in the room besides them. Charles probably went to Camilla and explained to Camilla what the discussion was all about. Then that's where things started to spread out. Camilla probably went to William, okay, to not have her name, because she's very smart too, to not have her name associated with the discussion. She probably told William, knowing very well William will leak it anyway. That's what I think. Okay? All right, let me finish that. Charles' aide must have told William, because if Charles had leaked this, he would have given it to the Daily Mail. All right, notice how it says what Charles received as a gift and not what Harry received, just that he was giving a birthday present. All right, so that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. There's more comment, but let's move on. So this is the other part that I switch on the list to be next. All right, so they're still talking about that. If Harry has disputed this, can we assume it did not leak from his side? Of course, Harry doesn't talk to these people. He sued them. He went to court and sued them. And when Harry and Meghan were leaving the UK, they put out a statement where they do not want to deal with these type of papers. I think they even named the papers, the Sun, Daily Mail, and what was the other one? I think it was like 3 or 4 of them. All right, the Sun was one of them. All right, same headlines. Let's see here. Let's pause this. Of course, but wait till they start lying to cover up the leaks from either KP or BP and try and blame it on Prince Harry's sources. Whenever things with the king and his son's leak, especially to don't buy the Sun, I personally assume Camilla did it. Okay, so there's that as well. Alright, looks like Willie has always been jealous of his baby brother, and it's becoming increasingly obvious that Willie has psychological problems. And no, I'm not being spiteful mean. It's clear that he's not mentally well. Of course, like I said, if he needs to get psychological help, he needs to get it outside of the UK. Someone who's not tied or under the grip of the institution. Because it seems like with all the things that Meghan and Harry were going through, I just can't believe someone who, because there are celebrities, I don't know, people who's very well-minded in their respective fields, could be psychology, any field, okay? But the psychology field itself, none of them came out to say, look, this is not good for the mental well-being of this and that, whatever that could happen. Nobody said anything. There's one picture I came across a long time ago. I don't even think I have it as a screenshot to share. There was a get-together with Charles and those organization he's part of, and one of those person that was in the picture, apparently she runs a psychology, some mental issue organization in the UK. And I'm like, why is she there? She's part of the problem with all of the things that Meghan was going through. She didn't come out to say something. And I think I said something like she need to step down from her position. That was around the time where I think Meghan came out talking about her mental well-being. And then you have Hugh Jackman, the Australian actor who played Wolverine, came out in defense of Meghan. Or just not in defense. I forgot how it went, but he was advocating for mental health. Okay, so which sort of show you the support that he has for Meghan without even saying it. Okay, So I have huge respect for him because he knows these people. He doesn't have time to deal with these people. So, but he came out in support of a mental organization that he's patron of or something like that. Okay, so let's read this. Tom Sykes. The background to all this is the what's the period here? Is the long-standing strain between father and eldest son. Harry was Charles' favorite. That's gonna get William even upset. William thinks Charles' monarchy is pompous and out of touch. Too much what's a ermine? Is it German? I don't know, but whatever. Ermine, too many uniforms. Charles believes his son shirks duty by putting family ahead of the job. When oh my God, William, is this correct? William hesitate. Okay, if this is from, okay, it's X, so that's usually misspelled, so I'm gonna let it go. Okay, so there's some misspell here. When William hesitate, Charles believes his son shirks duty by putting family ahead of the job. When William hesitate to attend the Pope's funeral because it clashes with a Aston Villa match, Charles was aghast. When William declined to mark VJ Day, courtiers were dismayed. Charles sees tradition, William sees absurd Edwinian relics. So in summary, the heir isn't happy because Pa met with his darling boy, the end. Okay, I get what you're saying here. I mean, William is jumping. He just can't seem to wait for his turn. Because look at Charles wait 70 years, right? 70 something years. How old was Charles when the Queen died? 75 or 70 or something like that. 70 years for the position. And Charles been there, what, 3 years only? 3 or 4 years? And he can't wait? Prince Harry has long been critical of parts of the UK media and brought legal action against several newspapers, including The Sun. This is what I was saying. In January, the publisher of The Sun agreed to pay substantial damages and apologized to the Duke of Sussex to settle a long-running legal battle over claims of unlawful intrusion into his life. Whatever's here, bottom up. Seems to me like Harry's side doesn't cowardly leak. They say what they have to say in interviews in a book, not anonymously. This is why Harry did the spare and then he went to CBS, what's this guy? Where he said he is the source. Okay, I think I have this somewhere. If I have it, I'll put it right now.
So again, one of the reasons why I wrote this book is every word in that book is mine. And I realized that especially...
What do you mean by that?
Because the amount of unnamed sources that have fed information to the British tabloids about me and my wife and my family...
You have a source,
true
and it's you.
and not true. I am the source of that book.
Matt Wilkinson, very close to William. Why there must have been so many cushions and china thrown. When William heard of Harry's visit with his father, incandescent with rage is putting it mildly, after all the leaking to his media, the PR team, who polishes his ego, Charles the King was right to speak with his son. And the other thing as well, the reason I think William is probably upset, okay, this is purely my humble opinion. I truly believe when William settled with the papers to not sue them about the phone hacking, the same thing that Harry's going after them, suing them, and things like that, William did not do the same. What I think happened, okay, they settle, they give him a couple millions, and then keep in mind that at that time William and Harry, but now it's only Harry, had upper hand on the paper. So to get to William not to sue the papers, they got to his head. Okay, they said, we'll give you a couple millions, okay, even though it's not that much in comparison to what the leverage that William has. They give him a couple million, and then they say, okay, we'll throw some extra million. Make sure your brother don't sue us. Because in William's head, he feel like he has control over Harry. Okay? But what William didn't know or can't handle is that Harry has a mind of his own. Okay? He can't get that. He can't get Harry under control. So now, because he took the money, keep in mind again, as I'm continuing with my story here, this is my humble opinion, my conclusion. So now that William have got pay to keep Harry under control, to not sue. So now William was supposed to leak information to the papers, anything about Harry and things like that. So him probably allegedly leaking to the papers right now, it's to keep up with that side of the bargain. That's what I think. Okay, I could be 1,000,000% wrong, but the way we find out that he settled, I call it settle. Okay, even some people may call it hush money or whatever, but William settled and kept it quiet. It's when Harry went to court, and it was said in court that William settle or take hush money and to not sue the paper. So from this point on, it's all Harry who's moving forward. Okay, and William can't leak to the papers to keep part of his bargain. Harry won in terms of not being able to keep part of his bargain is that since he can prevent Harry from suing the paper, so the next best thing is to leak information to the papers so they could have something to write about to make up for the money. Okay, again, this is my humble opinion. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm just reading between the lines, because William cannot be that obsessed. If he is part of this leaking, he cannot be that stupid and obsessed and trying to leak information and be petty about Harry and Charles being in communication. I'm just saying, this is not to say it's true, but I'm just sharing my thought with you. Leak to the British tabloid, especially a tabloid that he sued. These are made up fantasies. Harry has said clearly that he doesn't want to come back. That's the thing with Anderson Cooper. Let's see if we put the video. Nope, there's nothing here. Alright, there are no leaks in Montecito or Archewell Foundation. The broken pipes are full of leaks in Kensington Palace, Buckingham Palace, and Windmill. We don't have to assume Harry doesn't speak to the sub. We all know what he called Murdoch in his book. He refused to even comment and corrected their lies via the independent newspapers. Let's go to the next tweet. Oh, okay. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna stop this recording and continue. All right, I'm 30 minutes and I have more to share with you. Okay, so I'm gonna continue.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.